Hi, everyone. I'm Alexandra Harper, founder of Women of Culture, and I am here today with Paige McAfee, who is an internationally published photographer and anthropologist. And we are going to be talking about creativity and the upcoming Art of Empowerment event where Paige is going to be teaching photography beyond boundaries. So really excited to have her here live and in person with me on my couch in Brooklyn. So welcome.
Hi.
So Paige, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into photography, what made you transition from anthropology into a more creative field?
So I'm very much an accidental photographer. I had sort of dabbled around with a lot of creative fields. I've always been a maker, but it was after I had finished my undergraduate degree, and some friends of ours had their first child, and I didn't have children of my own, and I had no idea what to give them, and so on the day that their son was born, I brought my camera, and I took photographs. This was film, and I came back the next day with a little packet of prints in my hand. And before I could open up the prints, they said, "Oh my gosh, we had so much fun, and this and that and the other," and that they loved the experience of having the photographs made. And fast forward years later through my graduate degree, and I had the most wonderful people in graduate school teach me to pay attention in the ways that anthropologists pay attention to the things that you experience together and the things that really, really matter in your life. And anthropologists learn to do this not in the way that you're sitting there taking notes, but in a real moment-to-moment experience as it's happening in front of you. You know, you think about the classic anthropologist in a mud hut somewhere, where you're in that experience for weeks and months at a time, and then you're going back and you're creating a written monograph. Whereas for me, this is something that happens in split seconds with a camera instead of a pen in my hand. And so what I'm doing is I'm taking that anthropologist training, again, with these really incredibly gifted individuals, where I studied at Notre Dame, and turning that around and doing it with a camera, taking the things that are so vitally important to us and holding them still in the photograph instead.
Wow, that's so cool. I love that.
I love it. I love it. To me,
Yeah.
it's not about making a beautiful picture. It's about paying attention in the right way.
Right. Very cool. And had you had any background in the arts at all before that? Or?
You know, my parents would probably say I was always puttering in something.
Okay.
I was sewing when I was little without a pattern and without anybody teaching me, and then I was painting without anybody teaching me, and then I was photographing without anybody teaching. I was always messing with something.
Yeah. Okay. No, I think it's really cool because so many people think, oh, I'm not creative, and I can't do that, or because I'm a analyst or a numbers person. But
I think we're all so creative.
Yeah.
For example, my father was a rocket scientist.
Oh, wow.
He grew up on a tobacco farm and was the first person in his family ever to go to college, and then was the first person, of course, to go to graduate school, and then ended up designing part of the space shuttle.
Oh, wow.
And when I was in college, to make money, I started making teddy bears out of mini coats, old cast-off fur coats. And now I'm vegan, but at the time I was taking these old fur coats and making teddy bears out of them and selling them for quite a lot of money at the time.
Yeah.
And my dad loved them. And I couldn't figure out why my dad, the engineer and the rocket scientist, loved these teddy bears. And I realized that my dad and I had the same urge to create.
Yeah.
We couldn't not create. And we typify creative as someone who's an artist or an artiste, with the air quotes and everything around it. But the engineer has that same creative drive. They have to create. They have to do it. They just do it in a way that we don't typify it. So I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
That creative impulse runs through all kinds of different people in different fields.
For sure.
And the event that you're doing
Mm-hmm.
is a terrific way for us to come and be able to explore that
Right.
and set it free.
Right. Right. No, I love that. I totally agree. I mean, I was, also in a more like traditional left brain, like marketing career, and then discovered my own creativity, and it's in all of us. I think sometimes we just don't realize it.
Part of the joy of the modern world. We're finding more and more ways to let that right brain that's just itching to get out.
Exactly.
We're giving her space.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, since you mentioned the event, January 27th, The Art of Empowerment, can you tell us in your own words about the workshop you'll be teaching, Photography Beyond Boundaries?
Oh, we're going to have fun.
Yeah. I know that for sure. Yeah.
I believe very strongly that when you come to a workshop like this, I want you to be able to play. Yeah. But I also want you to be able to walk away with concrete tools that you can use when you leave the workshop. So we're going to go through a 3-step process of concrete tools that you're going to be able to use with whatever camera that you use, whether that's a little point and shoot that you use, or if you want to, a big heavy SLR, which is not what I actually use professionally.
Really? Okay.
I use a much smaller, lighter camera. I used to use big, heavy cameras, but I'm a little person and I don't like using big, heavy cameras. I still have some, but I don't use them all. Or your iPhone, which iPhones is probably, or cell phone cameras is probably a lot of what we use in the workshop, because that's what we all have with us all the time. Right. People are welcome to bring whatever they want. We're going to go through a 3-step process to be using just whatever you shoot with every day in the workshop, and give you actual tools to shoot better with whatever you use. So the workshop is not attached to any particular camera. It's attached to whatever you use. Right. We're going to do handouts in the workshop. So you have a physical something to take with you, physical steps that you can use to improve what you do, and we're going to play. Yeah. We're going to have fun with it.
Right.
So it's gonna be easy, it's gonna be playful, and you're gonna have real tools to walk away with. Right. These are the things I believe in so strongly. So while I have a creative background and a successful business that I'm proud of, I also have a teaching background. And that's one of the things that I look for when I go take a workshop. Right. I want to know that I'm gonna really get chewy, useful things out of it. And I really want to be able to deliver that to students. Yeah, no, I love that you also have this teaching background. I feel like you're such a natural teacher. And it is. That's humbling. And of course. Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to the whole day. Yeah. I'm really excited to be there. I know, there's like so many amazing things. It's going to be, I really feel like. Too. I always learn so much from the company of women. Yeah, and that for sure. Really exciting. Yeah, no, totally. It's going to be an amazing group of women there, amazing group of presenters. So it will be really fun. But I'll just ask like a couple more questions. But So how can participating in particularly the photography workshop help women increase their confidence and get in touch with their natural creativity? I think photography, because we have these wonderful little cameras on our cell phones, has become such a part of our daily lives. Yeah. We're taking pictures constantly. But I think coming in and having a set of tools that are simple and accessible just makes you feel more powerful. Yeah. And that's what I'm always looking for with the camera that's in my hands. I want to feel like you are always smarter than your camera. Yeah. This is just a little machine. Your head and your heart are much smarter than this little box. Right. And I think a lot of times we don't feel that way. We don't feel like we're in control of this little box. Right. And I think that's one of the big pieces that we'll be able to take away from this workshop. Right. Is feeling like we're the ones who are powerful. Oh, totally. And we're going to take away that fear. We're going to take that piece out of it and feel like we're the boss.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, exactly. No, and I think that is, I mean, it's getting in touch with your creativity, but it is empowering to be, to somehow it's something you have with you all the time. Be like, oh yeah, I want to take a picture.
I know how to do this.
Yeah.
I know how to do
this.
I'm the boss of this little box.
Yeah. And we all with social media, obviously, we're all very tuned into photography now.
Well,
so.
and I can give you one right now. In the workshop, we're not going to be photographing our faces.
Okay.
Because that's one of the things that for all women, we all go, photographing, which is a social construct. That is something that society and magazines and advertising has done to us, has taught us that we need to fix something, which we don't. Yeah. But here's something that, here, I'll talk to everybody. Here's something that we'll do right now, which is that anytime anybody, any selfie, anybody tries to take a picture of you, the first thing I want you to do is I want you to take that camera and put it up here. The first thing you always do. If anybody tries to go down here, you go, no, put it up here. Right. Because when that camera goes up here, it stretches out all of this, and we all look so beautiful when we do that. So we're not going to do this in the workshop, but take this one right now, and anytime somebody takes a picture, go, put that camera right up here, and we all look so beautiful.
I love it.
So do that.
Yes, good tip. Okay, we're gonna do. I'm like, oh no, maybe I should lift up this a little bit. Okay.
No, we look great.
Yeah,
we look great. We're leaning forward a little bit.
I love it.
So you said you had a couple questions.
No, I think the last one, just if there's anything you could share about women and their creative natures, what would it be?
Oh God, we're so magnificent. I think the hardest part for all of us is to God, you hear this so much, is to step out of our own way. And the one thing I feel like I'm always reminding myself and my friends is to talk to ourselves like we talk to our friends. That as a photographer, and I have very accidentally ended up sort of specializing in photographing women. I photograph families now. The vast majority of my work is photographing with families, and that includes a lot of moms. And I'm always saying to women, look at your photographs like you're looking at a photograph of your best friend. Yeah. And when we stop and when we allow ourselves to look at things that way, we become so much gentler than we are with ourselves. Totally. And that little piece of kindness, if we allow that and we accept that, it's a radical alteration in our perspective on every day. Yeah, totally. And I listen to myself say that, and I'm like, wow, Paige, what if you actually did that for yourself? Yes. We were talking when we sat down today about how incredibly nervous I got about this interview. I had full-on fight or flight response. And the minute I got here and realized that I was here because I feel so incredibly strongly about what you've created with Women of Culture, I love it so much, and everything I come to is such an incredible experience. Love the women I meet, and as soon as I got here with you on the couch and I was supporting you, it became so easy. Right? As soon as I got out of my head and I was supporting you, it was simple. What if I had actually treated myself that way? Right. Yeah. So it's an interesting thing with women. It is. If we would just do for ourselves what we automatically do for the women that we care about. Right. It is crazy. We're such a curious people. We are. Yes, we are. Yes. But I think that, like you said, I think that's why it's become so important to me to bring women together and be supportive of other women, and that has also helped me be more supportive of myself somehow, and I think doing things like, pushing yourself a little bit and also releasing some of that perfectionism, like we were talking about before, and it opens up so many things in your life, and I think that's a lot of what we're going to be doing on the 27th, and We're pretty amazing when we come together.
We are. It's unbelievable what we can accomplish.
And the world is changing.
Yes, I think
it's changing. We're watching it happen all around us.
I know. This is an amazing time for women. I'm really excited for us and everything we're going to
mark it on the 27th.
Yes, let's do it. So hopefully I'll see you guys all at the Art of Empowerment on January 27th with Paige, and you can get tickets at womenofculture.org/artsempower. So see you there. Bye.